Okay, so our main objective of this lesson today is to learn how to factor by grouping. And you will use this method of factoring when you have 4 terms in your polynomial. It doesn't really work when you only have 3 or 2. So you have to have 4 terms, okay? And that's an important fact to remember. So an example of something that you'd want to factor by grouping would be number 7. Okay? There's 4 terms in that. On this one, what you're going to actually do is you're going to break these down into 2 groups of 2. Here's one. Here's another. You look in the first group. What can you take out of that first group?
5x squared.
You can take a 5x squared out of it, yes. So, pardon me?
Is the negative in that group? Or
The second group, yeah, it would be a negative 5 right here. Good question. Okay, so, and this would be a plus in between. Okay, so on this one, if I'm dividing both of these by 5x squared, what is left in the first group? So the first one, the 5's cancel out, then I have x to the third divided by x squared, so it's just an x. 10 divided by 5 is 2, and the x squareds cancel out. On the second one, what can I take out of that group?
5.
A 5.
Negative 5, actually.
Yeah, that's even better. So let's take out a negative 5. When I take out a negative 5, this will be just x, and this will be plus 2 here. Now, I want you guys to look at both those terms. What do they have in common?
5x minus 5, x plus 2.
Okay, so yes, they both have an x plus 2. So what I would do is write that first. And then the 2 terms that are left are going to go in your second set of brackets. So this would be 5x minus 5. Oh, 5x squared. Are we done?
No.
No, what else can we do?
Boil it. Boil.
No, we're not going to multiply them back together.
Down with the box method.
I can factor out a 5 because notice that both of these have a 5 right here. Okay? So make sure once you get it down to this point that you're checking to see if there's not anything else you can do. So if I take out a 5 out of this, I'll have x squared minus 1, and then I'll have the 5 on the outside. Okay, actually we can even take it further, but today, because we're just looking at grouping, I'm not going to do that one right there. Okay, we're going to learn about that later in the week, but for now, this is as far as I want you to go. Okay? Let's look at 8. So we're going to do this again by dividing these into 2 sets. Okay? So what can I take out of that first set?
3ax squared.
Good. 3ax squared. Now if I divide both of these by 3ax squared, what am I left with on the first term? Somebody else besides Joey. What am I left with on the first term? An x. What am I left with on the second term? A 1. Good. That one, typically, a lot of people tend to say it's a 0. But really, 3 divided by 3 is 1. Correct? Okay. Now, on the second set here, we have negative 48ax minus 48a. What can I take out of both of those? Negative 48a. So when I take out negative 48a from this, I'll have just an x. And on the second one, I'll have a plus 1. Okay, so how can I write this now?
It would be x plus 1 in parentheses, and then 3x, or 3a x squared plus, or minus 48a.
Good. That's right. Good. Am I done?
No.
What else can I take out? A 3 and a what? An A. So both of these have a 3a in it right there. So I'm going to rewrite this as x plus 1. I'll just take my 3a, I'll just put it way over here. It doesn't matter if you have it first or last. I did last over here, that's fine. So if I divide this by a 3a, I'm going to have an x squared left. And then 48 divided by 3 is 16. Okay, later on, this can be divided further, but we're not doing that today. So this is good enough for today. Any questions on that one?
Are you recording right now?
Yes.